scenes and details may be intense or unsettling for certain viewers.
Welcome to the cartel, where power, danger, and cash runs everywhere. You are the tunnel foreman. The cartel trusts your hands with their runway. You are at an abandoned airstrip perimeter under headlights and dust because a phantom dig just appeared under your line. You have one night to finish the tunnel and find the thief before flights return. If they decide it's you, you don't get a second night. You kneel at a torn gap in chain link and study the fresh spoil piled like a grave. The dirt color is wrong, too red, too wet, not from your route. You pull out your tunnel notebook and your folded map. Your pencil marks show your stations clean and straight. Then you hold a pinch of that new soil to the paper like you're matching paint. Headlights roll up and stop hard. A pickup idles. A door slams. The security chief steps into your beam and drives a flashlight into your face. Two guards hang back with rifles low and ready. An excavator operator sits on the tailgate like he's trying not to exist. You blink through the glare and keep your hands visible. Muddy boots, laser-level case, the look of a man who can measure a tunnel with a string and a curse. The chief points past you toward the runway. He taps his watch. No room to argue, no room to ask who started digging where they shouldn't. He shoves a map under your nose. 2 lines. One is yours, the other is a second branch that shouldn't exist. He makes you trace it with your finger. He watches your nail, your pulse, your breathing like guilt has a smell. Then he jerks his chin toward the access road and the darkness beyond. Back underground before dawn. You end up in a steel container that pretends to be an office. One buzzing fluorescent tube, a metal desk, a laptop that's too clean for a place like this. You spread shift logs and a hand-drawn tunnel diagram across the desk. Your hands move fast. No hesitation. The faster you look, the less time anyone has to decide you're lying. You scrape wet clay from your boot into a clear bag. Evidence. Small, quiet, the kind that matters later if you live long enough to have a later. You flip pages and cross-check signatures. Your eyes track the ink like it's a security camera feed. Names, times, initials. One name appears on days you weren't even on site. You circle it once. Hard, the pen digs into paper. The site clerk sits across from you with ink-stained fingers. He avoids your eyes like eye contact is a confession. He slides you a fresh sign-in sheet without being asked. A guard stands at the door with his hand glued to his holster. You lift your cheap phone and photograph the circled line. You don't angle it. You don't hide it. You act like permission is assumed. You fold the suspicious page into your notebook. Then you hear the container door latch from the outside, not a click of closing, a click of being locked. They let you out like they're doing you a favor. You walk straight to the access shaft because standing still is how you get disappeared. You swing your headlamp on. The light hits timber braces, wet clay, and the ladder dropping into black. You climb down, rung by rung, the air changes, cooler, heavier. It sits on your tongue. Halfway down, you stop, you listen. Faint tapping, not ahead, not where your crew is supposed to be cutting. It's coming from the wrong direction. You press your ear to a timber brace. The wood vibrates with tiny impacts. Someone is working close. You pull chalk from your pocket and mark an X on the wall like you're tagging a target. 3 laborers wait below with shovels and tired eyes. A pump operator stands by the water line. A lookout hangs at the top of the ladder, pretending he's only there for safety. You point forward. You order the crew to keep digging your planned route. Normal pace, normal noise, like nothing is wrong. The pump operator hesitates. You hand him a wrench. You point at the valve on the water line. You don't explain. You don't need to. You twist the valve a quarter turn. Water hisses into a side pipe you never used before. That's the point. If someone is stealing through your wall, you're about to make their tunnel breathe water. You take 1 trusted laborer with you. Only 1. 2 is a rumor. 3 is a plan someone can sell. You move low through the narrow side drift beneath the runway. Clay walls sweat under your headlamp. Every brace creaks like it wants to complain. You reach your chalk X. You pry at a loose plank panel with a bar. The wood gives too easily. Fresh work, new nails. Somebody dressed your wall like a wound. Behind it is a hole punched through your tunnel lining. Raw mud, fresh scrape marks. The breach is small, but it's enough for a man to fit through if he hates himself. You pull out a plastic bottle you taped shut. A cheap float. You shove it through the gap and let it go. It bobs, then it drifts. The water is already flowing toward the other side. Your laborer clamps a hand over his mouth. He hears it too now. Muffled scraping, hurried movement. The soft panic of people who didn't expect the ground to turn on them. You slide a small mirror into the hole and angle it. A headlamp flickers back at you. Close, too close. You keep still. You don't breathe loud. You let the flooding do the talking. Mud bulges. A hand punches through from the other side, fingers clawing for air. It freezes. It feels the cold water. Then it disappears as the level rises, like the tunnel just swallowed it. You push the plank back into place. You leave them only one choice: move or drown quietly behind your wall. Pre-dawn hits the junction chamber like a deadline. Generator lights throw hard shadows over rebar and formwork. Everything looks sharp enough to cut you. A concrete mixer operator waits with the hose. 2 crew members carry rebar like they're hauling bones. A cartel runner stands there with a clipboard pretending paperwork makes this clean. You pull a small tracker apart with a knife. You don't treat it like tech. You treat it like contraband. You seal it inside a plastic sleeve. You zip tie it to the rebar cage where it will be buried. You snap a photo of the placement. Proof, insurance, a thin layer of hope. Then you wipe your gloves on your pants and wave the mixer hose forward like it's routine. The runner scans the chamber. His eyes cut corners. He wants to catch you doing something that justifies what they already decided. You shove a clean checklist under his pen. He signs, concrete pours, gray slurry floods the forms, the tracker vanishes under it. You can't dig that back out fast, that's the point. Whatever that phantom branch is, it just swallowed your hook. Dawn finds you above ground in a maintenance shed that smells like oil and stale coffee. Cold light leaks through slats. Radio chargers blink like tiny heart monitors. You crouch behind stacked tires and pull out a burner phone. Your thumb refreshes the tracker app again and again. The signal moves, not along your planned route. It drifts off like a lie walking away. You screenshot the map. Quick, clean, you slide the phone into a grease-stained rag the moment the shed door bangs open. The security chief walks in unannounced. He doesn't waste time looking around. He comes straight to you like he already knows where you'll be. He grabs your notebook. He flips pages fast. Paper snaps under his fingers. He stops at the circled name. His jaw tightens, not surprise, not anger, recognition, like he just found the excuse he came for. A mechanic nearby keeps his head down, pretending his wrench is more interesting than your death sentence. The chief pockets your notebook. He tells you you're staying on site until the inspection is done, not for safety, for control. He leaves you with your hands empty and your name getting smaller. Morning is too bright for what you're doing. You move along a utility trench beside a hangar-type structure, acting like a worker with a boring job. Your burner phone vibrates. The tracker is close now. You lift a utility cover like you've done it 1,000 times. You drop a tape measure into the dark. Depth matches your tunnel. You swallow that fact and keep your face blank. You crawl just enough into the trench access to see the tool marks. Fresh. Straight, leading toward the hangar foundation. So the branch wasn't an accident, it was aimed. You back out and wipe your hands on your pants. You pull chalk and lay down marks on the concrete like you're planning repairs. But you're not. You're drawing a path. A route a rival crew will follow without thinking. Straight into the collapse zone you've already measured. 2 rival diggers in dusty coveralls drift into view. One of them notices your mud-streaked elbows. He reaches for his radio. You slam the utility cover down. You walk away like you belong there. Your heart stays under the hatch. The phone vibrates again. The tracker is directly under the hangar floor. You go back underground into the branch tunnel under the hangar foundation. Headlamps cut through dust. A work light turns floating grit into a storm. Your trusted laborer follows with timber wedges. He watches your hands like he's trying to memorize how betrayal looks. You find the support frame you measured earlier. You touch the beam. You feel the load in it. Then you start undoing it. You hammer wedges out one by one. The frame shifts with each strike. The tunnel answers with tiny noises, complaints, warnings. You replace the wedges with brittle spacer blocks you prepared. Cheap wood, weak grain, a failure waiting for a moment. You smear wet clay over hairline cracks to hide them. You make it look safe, that's the sick part. You toss a metal tool down the branch. It clatters and echoes like a beacon. Footsteps answer. 3 men, rival crew, coming fast. You retreat to the junction and wrap your fingers around the pump switch for the flood line. It feels like a detonator even if it is. They round the bend and see the easy path you marked. They rush in. Their boots hit the ground hard. The roof starts to chatter. A beam snaps. Dust blasts past your headlamp. The tunnel begins to drop. You don't run toward them. You flip the switch and let the ground decide who gets out. You climb up through a concealed floor hatch and into the hangar like a man surfacing into someone else's life. Midday light spills through an overhead door. Metal crates reflect it back at you, bright and cruel. A forklift idles near stacks labeled spare parts. Neat stencils, clean paperwork, a fake world built on labels. You raise your burner phone and show the tracker's final ping. You point down at the hatch. You point at the fresh concrete patch that hides your rebar cage. You say the laundering route out loud. You name what the tunnel is really for. You force the words into the air because silence is how they bury things. A politician-type intermediary stands there in clean boots that have never seen a shaft. Calm, dry, untouchable. The security chief steps into view beside him. He doesn't look surprised. That's when you understand. The phantom branch isn't a rival. It's internal, it's protected, and you were never meant to solve it. The chief positions himself between you and the exit like a door that learned how to breathe. The intermediary closes the hatch with his boot. Slow, casual, like sealing a trash bin. 2 guards lift their weapons, not at the crates, not at the hatch, at you. You realize your proof isn't leverage, it's a reason they can't let you walk away. Late afternoon puts you on a riverbank dump site. Low sun glares off the water. Reeds cut long shadows across mud. You are sitting beside a torn duffel like you got dropped here with the rest of the waste. A distant boat idles on the water. Two silhouettes stand on a dirt road and watch without moving close. They don't need to. You pry wet clay from under your nails with a bent nail. The same dirt you spent your life learning. The same dirt that now knows your name. You take the burner phone out. You snap it in half. You throw it into the river. It hits, sinks, then rides the current like a secret finally set free. You open the duffel and check the only thing they let you keep, your notebook. You flip it open fast. Pages are missing. The sheet with the circled name is gone. The photo of the tracker placement is gone. The folded log page is gone. They didn't just take evidence. They edited your past. Across the dirt road, the silhouettes turn away and sink like a signal passed between them. The boat engine revs and pulls off, leaving a widening wake. You watch the wake carry your broken phone downstream. You understand the real punishment. You're alive so you can keep digging, not tunnels. Alibis, you stare at the empty binding where the proof used to be. Then you close the notebook like it's a coffin lid. Because what you built under that runway doesn't just move cargo, it moves blame, and it already chose you.